This is very urgent. And I pray with all my heart and soul that you will listen. Listen with yours. And stop thinking about it. But listen with your heart. Don't think with your mind. Look, let me tell you something. I don't come here to put tickets in myself. I don't come here in a marketing strategy. I don't use high sophisticated knowledge with engineering, with a high IQ. I don't use any of those tools. I'll tell you what I do. I use loyalty, honor, respect, mold, morals, inspiration, and encouragement. Honesty is the best policy. Not lying. Sitting on the fence, being a witness, is observing every single thing in this world, no matter what perception anyone lives in, no matter what they believe in. Never believe nothing you hear. Only half of what you see, but trust what you feel instinctively. God gave you that gift to use it. To master your mind and not let your mind be mastered by someone else. If you're not a mastermind, then who's mastering your mind? Never using high IQ or sophisticated knowledge or highly engineered languages. It only entertains you, that shit. It butters you up and weakens you at the same time, makes you sensitive and highly emotional. Distracts you non-stop. It's negative feels when you think psychologically. Those who think instinctively is in the positive feels, with their sixth sense, to feel, not think. And when you feel, you have an outside influence in reality. To see the picture that tells you 1,000 words, they call it the light bulb. That's where you're highly intelligent. Not by thinking critically, with a high IQ. That's where you're oppressed. And think you're intelligent at the same time, but you argue with yourself. And then you suffer emotional feelings all the time. Stress, fear, anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, or paranoia. Or you live in your own truth in some bubble, because your mind plays tricks and games in you. And you become your own worst enemy when you think that way. Your action always speaks louder than words, no matter what comes out of your mouth, no matter what you think. It's your action that shows who you are. Never believe nothing here, only half what you see. Put it on the shelf. Patience is a virtue. That's where great wisdom and knowledge comes from, by sitting on the fence. Don't believe, don't disbelieve. Just be aware. Be alert. Be alive. Be awake. Watch everything. Watch everything unfold. Watch how people behave. Watch how people get molded. If you think people are sitting on social media platform are humans, think again. If you think all the teachers that are on here on social media platform are humans, think twice about that. Look at the tools they use. Look at their behavior. What I see is conquer and division, selfish, egotistical, judgmental, and competitive behavior. Some uses that tool with love and compassion, with chocolates and roses, to butter things up and live in some massive delusion. But they all use the same tools to conquer and divide with. Selfish, egotistical, judgmental, and competitive behavior. You can tell by the tools they use. You know, I started to see the world mold in the 70s with psyop programs through television, through marketing strategy. Like a cocaine commercial. And then you want one? And that's how you design for education and a marketing strategy, so you want one. So you always want this and you always want that. Chasing your own tail. Worried about what you're going to lose and chasing your own tail. On a marketing strategy. To get attention. To use the same tools to beautify yourself. To put yourself on a pedestal with the same tools. Think you're better than everyone else. All by design, to strip you from your primal state and to use your natural organic motor skills. It's not hard to see. You don't need to be Einstein. It's really simple. Use your basic common sense and you can see what the truth is. You can feel it. You can always follow your feelings, man. You know a person in 2 seconds flat when they step into your aura, or anywhere near you, just like that. You can tell if a person's just thinking psychologically or they're thinking with their heart, just like that. Back 45 years ago, most people thought with their heart. Everyone talked to their neighbours and you were in the neighbourhood, smiling in the streets. Take a look at the world today. Take a good look, the Congo and Divide. We had more than 100 people who could have faith in and trust in. We trusted everybody. The elderly trusted us in the streets. Today they trust the cops and the politicians and don't trust us. We have the highest moral standards in the world according to the documents. The people in the streets. The ones with street wisdom and knowledge has the highest moral standards in the world. People in social media platform and most of Western civilizations declared they have the lowest. Disconnected from life, nature, and the things in harmony with. Disconnected from loyalty, honour, respect, moral, morals, inspiration, encouragement. Conquer and divide one way or another. They sit on flat screens and become flat face. Now they're all flat faces out there and completely stripped from their sixth sense. And think they're more intelligent than anyone with love and compassion with chocolates and roses. Just to create a name for themselves and a marketing strategy. Just to get attention because they're also spineless. They're also weak. They depend on these things. Without that, they can't function. 98% of Western civilization takes drugs to numb themselves because they can't cope. And then they lie about it at the same time. Social media platform causes 17 times more mental disorders and takes 17 times more happy pills and lie about it. They take drugs to get confidence, to spit chips in here and speak BS non-stop and to entertain the same BS. I mean, we could see how polarised people were coming in the 70s for advertisement and sticking their face to news all day, watching TV or the social media platform. Either one, doesn't matter. There's not much difference between one to the other. They're stuck to a screen. Stuck to a screen, stuck to everything with materialistic things and a marketing strategy and entertaining themselves. And they don't do nothing for society except for consume too much and think too much. That's all they do. Marketing strategy. Take a look at them in the world today. You call that human beings on social media platform that's teaching everyone? You call that humans. They don't do nothing for society except for make a name for themselves with a sophisticated language and marketing strategy and using the same tools that everyone else does on social media platform. They teach from the same teachers, from the same marketing strategies, from the same scientists and professors with all their evolutional BS. And using that strategy with their quantum mechanics, vibrations and fields and frequencies. But where's the love here? Where's the inspiration and encouragement in this kind of talk? Most of the world now even says they believe in their own truth. Oh, I live in my own truth, you live in yours. What kind of filthy animal behaviour is that? We're watching politicians in the media system say, oh, that's my truth. Selfish, egotistical, competitive, spineless, weak behaviour, sensitive and highly emotional all over the world and think they're intelligent at the same time with a high IQ. They can't even cook their own meals, can't build a fence. Their children's polarised by the time they're 5 with an iPhone, sexually frustrated by the time they're 8, and now they all think they're the best friends by the time they're 12. Take a look at the whole millennium age, they think it's their best friend too. They do nothing for society, nothing for nature, and completely disconnected from all the things we're in harmony with. And they call themselves humans. They don't even talk to their water. Their water has a personality. That's why their body starts to gain corruption, corrosion, collision with 7,000 defective genes all over the world. Because white man crazy, white man's always been crazy. And now white man's more crazy than ever in global history. We saw that over the last 45 years, how they got polarised. Polarised and engineered in such a way they don't have enough hours and they do jack shit. They can't even wipe their own bum. They want to save the world, can't even save themselves. They call themselves humans. They can't even compare themselves with someone 45 years ago. Ever since social media platform came in, the television went wide. Now they use every one of those tools and they create a character that they're not. They're not because they can't use the 8 tools of righteousness. They can't use honesty as the best policy. They've always got to use something else to create a name for themselves. Anything will do. As long as it's not their moral values in the right place instinctively in real life. As long as it's not that in real life, in reality, with their feet on the ground, right? With their heart on their sleeve, being down to earth and not being in some planet and floating away into space in some delusional behavior that most people are really falling into. Do you think God created people to be in this image? To be like that? Is that what you think? I mean, honestly, I'm just asking a basic question. Do you believe that God wanted you to be in this state of mind where you suffer all the time and take drugs to numb yourself, and then you lie about it at the same time and live in some bubble, but you can't function with people? You can't even talk to your neighbours anymore, let alone your enemy. You're supposed to love thy enemy and love thy neighbour, and you can't even love your family, lovers and friends. You can't divide with them as well. And you think that's the way you're supposed to be, do you? To conquer and divide with your own selfish, egotistical, judgmental, and competitive behaviour, the way that you use the tools yourself, and live in denial about it? To pretend you're something special? Your DNA's collapsing, man. In every research done all over the world, because you're not in the right mindset. You're in negative fields, and negativity creates extinction. End of story. You can argue about that all day long if you want, with your psychological mental behaviour, and come to your own conclusion with reason like you always do. Or you can think outside the mind with your heart and start waking up to what the truth is. Because most people don't. Most people can't. They're beyond the point of return and don't care enough. That's now they normalise this kind of behaviour and go through the same revolving door of twisting the appropriate truth non-stop to normalise with smile yesterday and think it's okay at the same time. And then they sit down in front of the screen again because they can't function. They can't connect to people in real life. They can't connect to nature either. They're disconnected so much, they just go back into their little sofa and sit in front of the screen and don't care because it's normalised today. It's so normal today. And who suffers the most, do you think? Who's doing their head in all the time? Who's doing the head miles here? Stop and think about it. Who's doing their head in all the time and thinking all the time? You? Probably. And you probably lie about it to yourself as well because you're two-faced now and the voice controls your mind. So you're not in control of your mind, are you? So if you're not in control of your mind, ask yourself who the fuck is. Think about it for a moment. Who's in control of your mind if you can't master your mind? To do all the things invertedly on a marketing strategy and be completely stripped from your basic common sense and your natural organic motor skills. Stop and think about it for a moment. Or is it too much for you? Would you rather run away and hide under the doona, where you always do, or behind the screen? To text like a troll? To be a moron? And to continue to feed into the same strategy that hurts you the most? That hurts yourself the most? Do you know how to love yourself correctly, man? Then get off the screen. Do something about life because you're all falling apart out there. Completely. Completely. Go back 45 years ago and an 80-year-old would seem like a 25-year-old today to a 40-year-old. And I'm not shitting you. I'm serious. An 80-year-old was full of life, man, compared to anything you see in a 40-year-old today. Look at me. I'm in my mid-60s, man, and I'm still bouncing off the walls. And I'll probably bounce most of you clean off your feet because you wouldn't know it hit you because you couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag if you really tried. You want a piss contest with me? You wouldn't last 2 seconds, man. That's how screwed up the whole world is, really. You've been polarised and engineered into this. Why do you think they call you post-humans? Hackable animals, no longer productive, no longer human. Why on God's earth do you think they call you that right in front of your face in mainstream media? Why do you think they're saying they're replacing you with AI world? Because they can't get you to function anymore. You consume, and live in a bubble on a marketing strategy to hand out money, right, and expect everyone to wipe your bum for you and everyone to take care of you because you can't even function anymore without the whole system and the whole 9 yards. A burden on society is what most of you's become. A burden on society. And you're a burden on society. And you expect everyone to wipe your bum, to feed you full of tablets, to feed your food on your own marketing strategy because you're too lazy to do anything. You sit on your ass all day in front of a social media platform or a television and do nothing but lie to yourself. You call yourself human beings in this world? Seriously, is that what you call yourself? You couldn't stand on your own 2 feet in your own something if you tried, without depending on everything else to wipe your bum for you. And then you think you're awake? My God. God's trying to communicate with you right now and you couldn't give a shit. That's the reality of life. You want to talking the truth? you couldn't give a flying fuck about yourself. Because something's possessing your mind, man, and it's called the devil. An outside influence in your reality that controls you so much and strips you from all your abilities. And you think you're awake to that? That's how they design you into this marketing strategy, so the voice of mind controls you. Why do you think mental disorders are going through the roof? Huh? From 2% in 1960 to 54% and accelerating 7 times faster, confirmed. Confirmed. Why do you think everyone's got a mental disorder so much and needs drugs to numb themselves? Because the devil's taking over the planet in the greatest psychological warfare against human spirit in global history. Can't you see that with some basic common sense? Or are you too hard to get that through your thick skull? Because God possesses nearly every person in the world and got them right where he wants them, right? In delusional behavior. Because you were told you'll be deceived that much and you'll be sent the biggest delusion that you ever had in human history by God. And now you're living in that delusion, that confusion, that frustration, and you don't know what to do because you can't wipe your own butt. And you know why? Because you're lukewarm and ice cold. That's why. You're not red hot like I am, I can tell you that. You're not human. You can't even stand in my feet or my shoes. You couldn't even do it if you tried. You disrespect the elders, wisdom and knowledge, and you twist the fabric too so much that you don't follow your own basic common sense. You become your own worst enemy because your mind plays tricks and games in you, and that's what you think with 99% of the time now. And then you abolish that wisdom. Now you think you're worse than me and everything that comes out of your mouth and everything you think, when your action shows who you really are, and your action is what you get judged on, obviously, you can see that in your body cells and your DNA alone. If you've got any basic common sense about you, but probably don't. You're probably too spineless to go and get a test. Too spineless to do anything about it. And your spine don't work. That's Jacob's ladder. So you're not alert, alive, waking, aware with your gut feeling survival mode, which is the chakra, right? With the shiver in your spine to be alert, alive, waking, aware in your primal state. That's a meth effect. That's the adrenaline pumped with positive fields, not negative. It's you that's negative and spineless and weak and cowards. You're not human anymore. So you think I'm negative? This is the most positivity you will ever see, where someone really loves you and cares about you more than you know how to. Do you get that? Probably not. Well, it's called tough love, buddy. And God loves you more than you love yourself because you don't even know how to love yourself anymore, right? Not with the shit you consume and put down your mouth and the things you entertain yourself with a marketing strategy or delude yourself in some little bubble because you don't care about your own moral values and being in your primal state to think with your natural organic motor skills. I was chosen for this to keep an eye on you throughout my whole life. And I've kept my eye on you as social media platform came in 1980 and then watched you get completely twisted, right, with internet. And then in the late 90s when they came with social media platform and they started Facebook in 2004, we can see what the world's twisted into now. My God. And what they sit on TV at home, majority, the masses, sits in front of news 3, 4, 5 hours a day, polarized. Got to watch news all day. Oh, got to watch news, got to see what's happening in the world. They don't even give a fuck about their own backyard and they're worried about the whole world non-stop. That's all they care about because they cannot function in their own backyard. They cannot connect with real love and compassion, loyalty, honor, respect, moral rules. So they'd rather entertain themselves with news all day long and watch the TV all day long or distract themselves with some stupid movie or Kardashians or Beverly Hills Housewives or some crap. So they can twist the fabric of truth to make them live in a bubble just like they do. Huh? How many movies do you watch all the time that entertains you so much? With Hollywood spins on a marketing strategy creates psychological warfare designed in every document in the world through frequencies that you're attached to. There was no such thing as a voice in a person's mind 120 years ago. Now they're in everybody's mind and control them. So if you're not in control of you, who's in control of you? Huh? When your DNA is falling apart and you can't think instinctively and think psychologically mentally all the time to justify what you believe in, then ask yourself, who's in control of you? Because the devil possesses every single person in the world to one degree or another. To one degree or another. You don't believe in that? It's because you choose not to. And if you choose not to, you'll never break free from amnesia and discover who you really are. That's why this is the most crucial video you'll ever come across, whether you believe it or not. You watched my video for the last 2 days, and I'll teach you the things that no other human being on earth is teaching you. And most of you will probably run away with your tail between your legs because your spine is weak cowards and godless immoral creatures all over the earth, and you'll never be human ever again because you choose not to be and you give consent to the devil. And that's how things go pear-shaped around here. That's what the end time's all about, buddy. And I don't come here with bullshit, chocolates and roses, to butter things up, to make you feel comfortable with that marketing strategy, to soften you down, to make you a weak spineless coward, sensitive and highly emotional. I'm snapping you out of that mindset. Snapping you right out of that mindset, so you can be a man and a woman, and not some piss weak spineless cowards, godly small creature all over that doesn't give a shit about nothing but yourself, and then put yourself in pedestal. Think you know better? Well, I don't see you sitting here. I don't see you sitting here like me. I don't see you doing anything for anybody, in fact. I just see you consuming too much, thinking too much, and pretending that you're something special, but you're a liar. And you lie to yourself, and you know what? It works. It actually works. That's why you depend on the system so much, and you're stuck in a reincarnation trap in such a way that Baal's got you by the fucking balls. Every single one of you out there. And this is your last opportunity to snap out of this mindset and come back to your primal state, to think instinctively, to live the tree of life and be connected. Be connected with your primal state, with loyalty, honor, respect, moral inspiration and encouragement in real life. Don't just speak shit about it. Don't just sit there and open your mouth and pretend, show it in real action. Action speaks out in words, and words don't mean jack shit without the action to back it up. Get that through your thick skull. When your mind plays tricks and games in you and you constantly become your own worst enemy in the skull. Because the devil's in your fucking mind, buddy. Right? And you can tell that by the tools you use. To butter things up and make a name for yourself and a marketing strategy just to get tickets in yourself, or to live in your own bubble in front of your screen and then avoid it. Because you're too afraid. Most of you can't handle the truth, can't face it, can't deal with it. And that's a fact. Can't face it, can't deal with it. So the truth can't set you free, can it? Because you choose not to let the truth set you free. That's your choice. When you can't handle the truth, and you can't live in the truth, and you can't let it set you free, and you go back in your own bubble, think about how much you avoid the truth. When God puts me on this path to get through your thick skull, imagine how much you avoid me as well. Because 99% of you out there do a damn good job. With 20 million followers in Shadowban, 99% of you do a damn good job to go back and entertain yourself, because you follow your forefathers' footsteps, and it's not the Father that you think, right? It's not the Father that you think. It's a return of the gods. You're told that all over the world. You're told that in the Bible. You're told that by the top prophets in the world. You're told that by the top bureaucrats in the world too, from the IPP Science reports, in case you don't know. The world collapses in 227 for 20 years. That's why Trump put out Agenda 247. Agenda 47. Do I make myself clear, or are you still brain dead? Trump put out Agenda 247. Okay? They put up the new climate clock with the end date of 227. It's written on every document in the world. That's revelation. It began in 220, and it's a 7-year countdown on the new climate clock that'll run to the 27th September. And you're not awake. You're not awake at all. You'd rather live in a marketing strategy and deceive everybody else in the whole world like everybody else does, like your politicians do, like your marketing strategy does, like your whole media system does, like everybody else in the world does that doesn't want to listen. Yet it's written on the documents in the Great Reset, the New World Order. It's written on the IPP Science reports. They put up in the new climate clock, and it warns the end times, whether you believe it or not. Nostradamus predicted it perfectly. Perfectly. 227 is the most important number placed in the sense of our society, with an end date of 227 and a countdown of 7 years from 220. Right? And that clock will be displayed until the 27th September 20 September. And 27th September, 27 stands for the Holy Spirit, divine light. That's the Father. And September, right, Libra stands for judgment, justice. And 27 is the most important number on the planet. And it's all by design for this very moment, whether you choose to believe it or not. You have 3.5 years to wake up and get right out of that mindset and create a relationship and go back to your primal state. To be reborn is to resurrect. It's to go through amnesia. That means you don't know. It means to stop mentally and die and become instinctive, spiritual. And most people are not spiritual in the world, they're mental now. And they haven't been reborn, they never will be, because they're in brain-locked denial beyond the point of return. And that's a proven fact all over the world. We can see that in DNA evidence with their sixth sense. They're completely stripped from it. They take drugs to numb themselves, to cope with life. But when they're not on drugs, they are suffering from stress, fear, and anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, and paranoia, because they need drugs to numb themselves. They need a conductor that's in vitamin C, D, B12, zinc, and iron, magnesium, an electronic magnetic device because they cannot conduct without that device. That's why they need to take drugs, because they're in the wrong mindset and negative fields, and negativity creates extinction. And that's what's happening to every single person in the world. They're going to go into massive extinction in the mindset they're in. And that's how they designed the depopulation plan. Very simple. To get everyone reverse psychology, to be inverted, to be attached to the system with all negative fields, so their DNA goes in corruption, curse, collusion. That's where the evidence is. The greatest psychological warfare in human history against their spirit, and they're stripped from it, their sixth sense. You can see that in DNA evidence, and go get a DNA test done at any lifelong center or UniFed all over the world, and you can see that your body cells are corruption, curse, collusion without a sixth sense, no spiritual connection, and 99% of you lie about it. And I'm telling you for a reason, so you can do something about it, to go back to the primal state and the image you created in, and what you choose to do with it, it's entirely up to you, isn't it? Isn't it? But don't sit there for 1 minute and think that you're not affected by this and you can't gain nothing from this. That is the worst thing you can do. You do it over and over and over and over again. Right? You don't listen to the Father. You don't listen to the experience, wisdom, and knowledge. And you don't listen to the people that are chosen. You don't even listen to the witness with the resurrection of humanity. Because you're brain dead stupid and you follow your forefathers' footsteps, and that's your God. And that's the God you're going to suffer from for 1,000 years and wish you were dead. You've been deceived beyond your comprehension. Beyond understanding. Why do you think there was only 390 million people here 700 years ago and 8 billion today? Because you've been stuck in a reincarnation trap and no one's been reborn. Don't you get that? Don't you get that? Take a look at my videos that I just posted. In the last 2 days, I go on about the most powerful events in modern history about the reincarnation trap and the evidence that God created here for you to wake up. Because they know you're in a reincarnation trap and you're stuck in it for 1,000 years. They know that. That's why you're not reborn. That's why you have not broken out from amnesia and you have not yet discovered who you are. Why do you think there's 8 billion people in the world today suffering? Because they're in a reincarnation trap suffering and they don't know who they are because they're not living in the truth. They're living in a bubble in their own truth. They can't think dimensionally. They can only think psychologically. That's the most important subject in the world transformation movement, to think outside the mind, with Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Jordan Peterson, Win Off the Breathing Program, and what we come here with, to resurrect humanity back in the primal state, to think instinctively and not think psychologically, mentally, to be free. And it's a liberation you don't understand. To be free from every single thing you suffer. And that's being in the image that God created you in. For God's sake, listen and practice what I preach. Listen to my videos and you'll wake up and you'll discover who you really are.